Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jordan from the Laundromat Resource Podcast. This is show number 20. How exciting. I don't know what I'm going to do next week because I've already taken my shoes off to count on my fingers and my toes. And next week I'm in trouble. So I'm really excited that we made it to 20 shows on the Laundromat Resource Podcast. Thank you so much to you guys who have been following along and contributing and listening and learning and giving feedback. And we're trying to get better every single episode. You guys have been crucial to that. So thank you for that. In fact, man, this last week, well, even before this last week, actually, we've flown past 5,000 downloads in this young podcast. Blows my mind. In fact, the last 2 weeks, we've had over 1,000 downloads in the last couple of weeks. So, man, I just can't even fathom that. It's so cool. So cool to be a part of it. So cool. And I feel so privileged to be able to sit on this podcast and talk to some of these owners who have been on the show, sharing their stories, sharing their experiences, sharing their wisdom. I hope you guys have felt honored listening to them also. And today I am super excited that you're here because today we're going to talk to Mark Vlaskamp, and he did everything backwards and yet is finding so much success and is trying to navigate, as if going into the business isn't, or any business really, isn't difficult enough. He's doing it backwards, and you'll see exactly what that means in this episode. It's chock full of wisdom, of really good nuggets in there that you can implement into your businesses, or if you're looking to get into the business, stuff that's going to be very, very valuable as you proceed on your journey into the laundromat business. So definitely check out what Mark has to say, because he is killer. And not only that, but he's just a super, super cool dude. I really enjoy it. We talked a lot before we recorded, and we talked a lot after we recorded. And the only reason that we didn't talk even longer after is because I was going to the beach. And, there's not a whole lot that can keep me from getting to the beach. So, but seriously, this is an epic episode. So you're not going to want to miss it. Definitely tune in. We're going to get there in just a second. But a couple of quick things. Number one is, if you have not gone over to laundromatresource.com, clicked on that join button to get not only access to how to buy your first laundromat, but also there's a ton of free tools for the members over there. It's a free membership. All you got to do is give us your first name and an email address. We don't spam you or anything like that. We just want to stay in touch. We want to have two-way conversations with you. We want to hear from you guys so that we can be just a solid resource for you. That's it's in the name. It's the whole point of what we're trying to do, is to be just a valuable, solid resource for laundromat owners. And so come join us and be a part of it. We're like right on the brink of 700 members over there, 700. So do not get left out. You don't want to join after we've crossed that 1,000 mark. You want to be in the first 1,000. First 1,000 is just, there's something very prestigious about that. I'm just kidding. But seriously, head over to laundromatresource.com/join. There's going to be a link in the show notes. There'll be a link in the description if you're on YouTube. And speaking of show notes, the show notes will be at laundromatresource.com/show20. Show 20. So go check those out. You'll have access to all the links from today and some other goodies in there too. So go check that out for today's show. And the reason that I'm saying today, hey, make sure you go join over there at Laundromat Resource. Today, stop what you're doing, pause, or do it while you're doing this. I don't even care really if you're driving. Just pull over on the side of the freeway and go join right now, because September is going to be a big month. We're in September. Today, actually, we're going to be September 2020, in case you're listening to this in the future. But it's going to be a big, big month. We're coming out with a bunch of stuff that I think is going to be super helpful this month. And I'm super excited. I think this month is going to be game changing for a lot of you guys and for us and just for everybody in this industry that wants to take part of it. So go over there and join laundromatresource.com/join. Enough of that sales pitch. But I will say, well, I guess it's not enough. It's never enough. I will say one other amazing perk of being a free member over there at laundromatresource.com is access to our forums. And I'm just going to hit you with the brainwashing one more time. Get over there this week, ask a question, answer a question. And if you're new signing up this week, get over there and introduce yourselves in the introduction forums. Just say who you are, where you're from, and what you're up to, where are you at in the process of laundromat ownership. So get over there, get a part of the forums. Again, that's where we grow. That's where we are going to learn. That's where our businesses are going to grow. So laundromatresource.com/forums. Again, links are in the show notes in the description. All right. I don't want to go too long because I'm super excited about this conversation with Mark. He literally braved a hurricane to get on this podcast with all of us. So get excited. And he brings it, he brings it like a hurricane. He's just siphoning the energy of the hurricane and he's just bringing it to the laundromat wisdom. So let's get into it right after this.
In today's world, if your laundromat is not online, you're losing business. Customers increasingly decide who to trust with their laundry by the quality of your web presence. But creating a professional logo and website that instills trust in potential customers and can be found on page 1 of Google can be difficult to create on your own and expensive to purchase through a traditional marketing company. As part of our mission to help laundromat owners succeed and find financial freedom through laundromat ownership, we are launching our done-for-you marketing service tailored specifically for laundromats. After ranking number 1 on Google with our own laundromat website and consulting with many others to help them do the same, we guarantee that we can build you a professional website that ranks on page 1 of Google within 6 months. Our joint expertise in the laundry industry and over 15 combined years in website design and online marketing allow us to offer affordable, transparent pricing for a high-quality web presence for your laundromats. You invest so much into providing your customers a quality laundry experience. Don't let anyone miss out on what you have to offer simply because they can't find you online. Let Laundromat Resource Marketing take care of your online presence so you can take care of your customers. Visit laundromatresource.com/getonline today for more information. That's laundromatresource.com/getonline or click on the link in the description.
All right, let's jump into it here with Mark. But real quick before we do, I just need to apologize. We had some technical difficulties on this episode, both with the audio and the video. I'm going to blame it on the hurricane and Zoom. It's got to be someone else's fault. I'm just kidding. But I just wanted to apologize. The audio quality is not the best and the video format is different than all the other podcast episodes. But nonetheless, this episode is killer. Do not miss it. It's amazing. All right, let's jump into it right now.
All right, Mark, thanks for coming on the podcast, man. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am doing excellent. This has been quite the chore to get this thing going, just with rescheduling and, a hurricane blowing through your neck of the woods. And everybody safe out there? Everybody doing well?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're all set. All safe. You're a hard guy to get a hold of. I had to get on the podcast to ask you about your pickup and delivery business. I've been dying to hear about it.
Good. Well, we'll get into that a little bit, that anticlimactic story. We'll get into it a little bit later. But before we get into it, man, tell us a little bit about you, who you are, and where you come from, your background.
Yeah, absolutely. We're the Fold. Me and 3 partners started the Fold, and we essentially launched a pickup and delivery laundry service. About as backwards as you could possibly launch a pickup and delivery laundry service. Hindsight 2020, we should have jumped in with the laundromat first, but this was 2016, late 2016, and the idea of a pickup and delivery laundry company was so novel that we just jumped straight into the pickup and delivery first, and are working our way back towards the laundromats now. So we got that going then. It's been snowballing since. We're really just working on figuring out exactly what our customers want, how to bring education and awareness to the pickup and delivery laundry exists, and it's not your traditional wash and fold type quality product, and that these families in Texas with the big washers and dryers and the big houses, that there's still a demand for it.
Yeah, well, cool. Well, I want to hear all about that, but I ask this pretty much to everyone, but I get asked all the time, how in the world did you get into this business? And so what made you guys decide back in 2016? What made you guys decide to get into pickup and delivery?
Yeah, it was a service we wanted. And like I said, it was a real novel concept back then. Not a lot of it existed. There was cleaners running routes, laundromats running routes, but there really wasn't a strong brand, a strong customer-facing brand, easy to find online, easy to learn about and figure out how it works. And we thought we could start it. It was a service we wanted. It was a service that when we tested it out in small sample sizes with our friends and family, that they liked it. And it just kind of kept going from there. All of a sudden, everyone quit their jobs and jumped headfirst into the entrepreneur laundromat pickup and delivery game.
Cool. So you guys just saw an opportunity and you jumped on it. You just went for it and started building it out, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a good group of guys. We were all friends in college. Had took 5 or 6 years after college to go pursue different careers and end up having a bunch of different skill sets that really complemented each other. So I think if we didn't do this, we would have done something, but I'm really happy we landed on this. It was, like I said, it was a service that we wanted. Once we tested out a couple in town and saw what we think we could combine our skill sets to make, we were pretty confident in jumping in.
That's awesome. All right. So take us back. It's 2015 or 16, wherever. And, you had the meeting of the minds, the mastermind, if you will, and you guys get together and you say, hey, we're going to do something. You come up with this business model, this pickup and delivery business model. You didn't own Laundromat at that point, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So that's what you mean by you did it backwards. You just jumped into the pickup and delivery, no Laundromat or anything like that.
That's right. Yep. So back then we were running delivery routes off of a Google sheet, and we were at first we were outsourcing the production of the orders to local laundromats. So asset light business model. We were selling dirty laundry to laundromats and running all the marketing logistics on our end. That quickly changed into us doing the laundry with our team of W-2 workers at those laundromats, because there really just wasn't anybody that could keep up with the quantity and the quality that we needed. We found even just launching, with a Google Sheet, I think we were using real basic software for ordering back then. That the demand was there, and we needed to really focus on the supply side of the problem.
Yeah, I can see where that would become an issue. It's funny because I just had I had a coaching client this week. Shout out to Peter. What's up, man? Who was asking? He was kind of kicking around the idea of starting to pick up and delivery where he is out in New York. But he doesn't own a laundromat. He's like, is it possible to do it without a laundromat? So hey, it's possible.
It's possible. There's not a lot of margin in it up front. It's going to take a lot of sweat. But certainly my advice for Peter, shouts to Peter, would be to look at the laundromat side of things first.
Yeah. Do it forward, not backward. Okay. Well, tell me a little bit about how you guys actually got started. When did you start? Did you build a website first? How'd you get started?
Yeah, we, talking day one, get started. We got a website up. Back then we were using a pretty basic ordering software, and we hung flyers on apartment doors. Back then we were going for the people that really that we thought were going to use it as a utility. Maybe they didn't have a washer and dryer in their unit and needed a quick, easy option. And so, yeah, apartments are easy. Go, sweat, hand out flyers, and, maybe you reel in one or two customers.
Yeah. You get all that volume all in one spot so you can hit a bunch of doors.
Exactly.
You guys really just bootstrapped it early on. Did you guys quit your jobs and go after it full time, or did you guys do it on the side when you first started? How did that work out?
We did. We went all in. We had the idea, quit our jobs, and went straight for it. Yep. So there was no, and I think that's probably a big part of the reason that it grew as fast as it did, is because there wasn't a lot of other options. We were in it. You have, 12, 14, 16 hours a day. You better go make some sales.
Yeah. I love the burn the boat mentality. Just jump in both feet, go for it. You're going to sink or swim, and you'll find out by the time you run out of money if you made it or not.
Right. Hasn't happened yet.
You're still going strong. Yep. And look at this, man. You are on the Laundromat Resource Podcast. You have made it. I'm just kidding. All right. So you guys jumped in both feet. You put up a website. You have basic ordering software up online. Did you guys go, and you're handing out flyers, did you guys go to laundromats and talk to owners, or did you guys just go do laundry at laundromat? Like, how did that part of the business? I mean, because getting customers is one thing, but then you got laundry to do. So how did that work?
Right. Well, the whole that whole part of it just didn't last long. We tried a couple suppliers, and you really realized quickly that there was going to be a supply side problem. So there was quick meetings. It was, can you do this? Can you not do it? And usually after a week or so, you could tell that the answer was no. And at that point, it switched to going and finding laundromat employees at local laundromats to come help moonlight for us in the evenings or in the mornings or whenever their off shift was, to come fold for us as our W-2 employee. As a kind of a part-time gig. So the supply side problem really, it switched fast from us. We pretty quickly gave up on the outsourcing it to local laundromats, and our new problem was, all right, this is the first step of starting a small business. We need a staff to train up to help us and to get them on payroll and start moving.
Yeah, I can definitely see where that would be a problem, where you don't actually have control of. Actually, it's kind of like the main part of the business, right? The actual doing the laundry, the folding the laundry, keeping everything organized, keeping track of everything, making sure it gets back to the same people that sent it, and all of that. That would be real tough to manage that without having any control over, your staff. So I can see where that would be a problem real fast.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's all our job is now is standard operating procedures, training, and logistics of it's not only the pickup and delivery logistics from, driver at the warehouse to picking up from the customer back to the warehouse. There's just as much logistics in tracking laundry from, three-way split in a washer to two-way split in a dryer and folded and back into the warehouse. And extrapolate that over, how many hundreds of customers a night, it gets hairy. So there's logistics is everything for us now. Yeah. And so I want to get back to that in a second, but were you guys the ones that were also just picking up laundry and dropping it back off? Did you have drivers early on, or were you guys doing that? How did that work? Yeah, I mean, there was certainly a time where we had, there was three of us in Austin where one or two of us were picking up orders, and the other guy was back folding clothes or folding next to one or two laundry folders, employees. So yeah, there was definitely a hands-on part of that. I still think I've probably folded more laundry than most laundromat owners. And I bet you I can fold a fitted sheet better than most too.
Oh, snap. The gauntlet has been thrown down. Next clean show, we're having a contest. And we're setting you up as a champion, and we're going to have people line up, knock you off your throne. I love that.
Yep. Loser pays for happy hour.
I love that. It won't be me though, because I can't pull the fitted sheet for nothing. So I'll just be a server. Yeah, I know.
Do you do your laundry at your house, or do you do it at the laundromat?
I typically do it at our house. However, there are definitely days where we've let it back up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just either going to load it up and take it over there and have it done, or I'm going to go, check in on things and just do it myself while I'm over there. So typically at home, but I'm starting up a pickup and delivery service, and a big part of that is just I have to do my own laundry. I'll be honest with you. That's
right. Well, you're gonna do a lot of laundry, I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it's a size of the machine thing for you. I find when I take all mine in because of the folding tables. I hate like folding on a kitchen counter or the bed or something. I think I'll know I've made it the day that I can put a 30 or 40 pound washing machine in my garage and have a big, nice, wide, deep folding table. So I'll take it in and fold it at the folding tables just because I get so frustrated trying to fold it on the bed or couch or kitchen counter or something.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because, we just moved like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago yesterday, we just moved and we're redoing, parts of the house and stuff. And we just decided that we're going to actually move our entire kitchen so that we can create a laundry room, bring the laundry from the garage into the house. We're going to create a laundry room with a nice folding table. So the life is coming, man. It's coming.
I'm jealous. That sounds good.
I know. Yeah. But no, in all seriousness, the pickup and delivery side, I know you say that you started it backwards. And if I could see where it would definitely be a lot easier if you had started, owning the actual machines and the space. So were you early on, were you having to lease space, or were they just letting you come use the machines and you basically pay retail price for the machines, or how did all that work out?
Day one, it was retail prices. We ran in, we paid retail prices. That quickly, with volume, that quickly changes. We weren't signing any monthly leases on space. We were getting wholesale prices on vending. So instead of the $3 per card swipe, our card would register at 50% off, 30% off, whatever that was in our growth path.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good deal. I mean, if I was a laundromat owner without a pickup and delivery service, go find one of those guys with just a pickup and delivery service. If you're not going to do it on your own, it's a great way to keep the machine spinning. Unfortunately, the margins just aren't there, and you really need your own space to outfit. I mean, the place we're looking to build is it's outfitted just as much as a private production facility as it is a retail laundromat, because it's so important with our volume that everything is streamlined. I mean, it's a true Henry Ford assembly line style production, and you can't just do that in a retail laundromat.
Yeah. That sounds like ideal to have, a location that's designed from the ground up specifically for that pickup and delivery that you're doing. And are you going to let people drop off, pick up there, or pickup and delivery only?
Yeah, there'll be a traditional over-the-counter wash and fold option. I think that's a big part of any laundromat owner's business, especially when you're focusing on wash and fold as much as we are. But I think a big chunk of our business is always going to be pickup and delivery. That we're covering in Austin alone. I mean, we're covering the entire city and all the suburbs. So you talk about a traditional laundromat, you're drawing customers in from 1 to 5 miles tops. We're doing it from 30, 40 miles away in all directions.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. I was going to ask you about that later, but that's a big old radius that you guys are working. So that's awesome. That's a lot of business.
It is. Yeah, we just recently expanded, and we can touch on it later. But that was really exciting for us when you have the ability to go out that big and that wide and kind of snowball that local industrial density.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys kind of bootstrapped a little bit early on. You were running flyers, you were folding clothes, and all that. So where did you guys go from there? Did you, how did you? Well, yeah, where did you go from there? I guess.
Where did we go from there? It's a good question. We just kept trudging ahead. There's no overnight success story to be had. There's not 1 month or one product or one marketing feature that we released that really, snowballed everything quickly. It was just slow and steady growth. Retention is huge. I think it's something that's overlooked all the time. Is that we focused and fought to retain every customer we got. And that's on a as you need it basis. Not everyone needs it weekly, but whenever they think they need a little help, they need to come to you. And we put a ton of emphasis on the quality and the retention.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's smart. We've heard that through, from some of the biggest guests we've had on here so far, is that it's that value that you're providing the customer, the client, where, if you can provide the value, then you're going to keep that customer. And if you're going to keep your customers, you're going to do well in business, right? Because it's a lot cheaper to keep customers than to gain new ones. So as you're gaining new ones, if you're keeping the old ones, snowballing is kind of the word to describe it. Compounding is,
right. Exactly. Yeah. It's that compounding interest effect. To that point, we've always focused heavily on the communication with our customers, and the quality. We hang and steam all collared shirts, dresses, and blouses. So it's your hybrid dry clean launder press versus traditional wash and fold quality product. And we actually pack everything into the Rhino bags in what we call a drawer ready separation. So that way, a lot of laundromats will toss all the clothes in one bag in an effort to try to save, the 10 cents a bag, 15 cents a bag. We're actually trying to pack all of our folders are trained to pack by gender, by age, by size, so that, you think a mom of 5 is going to spend $100 to outsource laundry for the week. You don't want her to have to spend 2 hours to put it all away. And she's covered up the kitchen counter and kitchen table trying to sort out, the who knows how many kids and her husband's clothes and her clothes. We've kind of done that for her. So she can almost, as she pulls it out of our bag, just toss the Rhino bags into each room and it's done and over. So it's little things like that have evolved that I think have really played into our retention and helped that growth that, there really wasn't an overnight success story. It's just kind of been hanging on to those customers for year over year.
Yeah, that's killer, man. That's killer, business strategy. It seems really obvious to, fold clothes and sort them by, age, gender, size, those kinds of things. But seriously, like the user experience of that is, I love just the picture of a mom just tossing the bags in everybody's room and, hey, like, put your clothes away, because a 4-year-old can do that, and a 40-year-old father can do that, even though he might kick and scream doing it. That's what I would do. At least I hate putting clothes away.
Right. Exactly.
But I think that's huge. And thinking about it from the customer's perspective, that's how you provide that value. That's how you retain that customer. I love that idea. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit with you about kind of some of the nuts and bolts of how you guys are operating, and how you're, we talked a little bit beforehand about, kind of optimizing routes and all that stuff. I want to talk a little bit about that. But real quick, what are you guys operating out of now? So you started off, using laundromats with their employees, and you got your employees in laundromats. What are you operating out of right now?
Right. So we recently launched in Houston last year, and we started that with a full picture of our model where we own the laundromat. They're all our employees, our machines, and what we've done is we've rented a space next door, connected by a doorway fob access, where we kind of run our distribution. So we kind of have equal parts real estate, laundromats, and distribution. And it's just warehouse rack, barcode scan guns. It looks like your traditional, how a dry cleaner would rack and store most of their orders. It's truly just a distribution center for our drivers to run in and out of. But in Austin, to get back to your question, we're working with a laundromat, kind of a sister laundromat, that we have the same setup. So we've mirrored that setup without owning the laundromat. So we have the 1 to 2,000 square foot unit next door to the laundromat. And so we're right there, we're attached, and it's a great relationship. One that I think as we build out our other laundromats in the city is one that, we're very happy with, and we'll just keep going. It'll just kind of be an asterisk on our model.
That's awesome. That's a cool setup that you have. I love the idea of having right next door, like a warehouse distribution center, and be able to run it. I know a lot of laundromats have like a back room or something, but just to have like a separate space that's big enough to be able to move around and be able to store what you need to store. I think that's huge for operational efficiency and keeping things organized, and keeping things on task, and on budget, I guess.
And it's a volume thing at some point, as we've looked at laundromats to acquire and made plans that distribution is nothing to take lightly. It's easy to think about, my 6 orders, where am I going to put them until the driver takes them back? But when you're talking 100 to 200 orders, you need a lot more space. That junk room in the laundromat doesn't work anymore. So that dedicated area to pick up and delivery distribution is huge for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's crucial to be able to scale too. And especially now that you guys are, you're covering such a huge area, that, you got to have that space to be able to grow, because there's, I would assume that every mile you go out, you're picking up significant potential business there, for every single mile. So, in order to keep it rolling, you got to have that space to keep going. So,
yeah.
Talk to me. What is your role now? What are you doing in the business? Are you still folding fitted sheets, or what?
No. Thankfully, no. Also, I bet I could give our guys a run for their money. We've got, like I said, we've got a team of 4 guys who are the owners here, and we all kind of have our lanes, but it's really a team effort. Everybody's helping with everything. A lot of my focus right now is on getting this new facility and getting the financing, getting the plans. We're looking to, we're not buying existing laundromats, so there's a lot of utility work, city work, permitting, zoning, fundraising, stuff like that. But that varies. That's the project we're working on now. The other projects will come up in the future where we'll all have different roles. We've got a couple jacks of all trades that all work together really well here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're not, folding clothes so much anymore, and you're able to spend your time and your energy, your talent, and your learning on the high ticket items that are really going to help move your business forward. But what I also love is that early on, you guys were handing out flyers. You guys were doing the fitted sheets, folding, and you guys were running clothes back and forth and all of that, because, I think a lot of times, when people want to start a business, like you said, there's no overnight success, but, everybody wants, I do enough coaching calls to know that a lot of people really want an overnight success. They really want a business that's, just humming on all cylinders. And unless you're willing to fork over the money to buy a business that is already humming on all cylinders, you got to put in a little bit of work early on, or probably a lot of work early on, to get things up and running or ramp them up. And, you're going to be, driving the car, you're going to be folding clothes and doing laundry and that kind of thing. So I love that. And I love the evolution of that from, kind of bootstrapping to, now you're thinking bigger picture. You're making the plans, you're making things move to expand the business. And I think just shows that you guys have taken a healthy trajectory and are running with it. So kudos.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a meditative element to folding clothes, but yeah, once you get sick of it eventually. But yeah, that experience has helped us a ton, and it's laying the groundwork for some of the scalability now that we have. Guys that have folded a ton of laundry, guys that have done tons of the pickup and delivery. We've handled all the customer support in-house. So right now we're kind of with that scalability step. One example of how that's helping us is we're putting all of our training videos online. So we're actually making our whole standard operating procedures video-based and putting it all online. So when we decide to hire somebody, we can shoot them a link and they can watch all the videos, learn how to fold every type of clothes, type of garment that we would fold, and exactly how it works, exactly how it gets bagged. So before they've even stepped foot in the building, they're trained up, which for a laundromat isn't wildly hard to train somebody, but to run that folding of precise items exactly how you want it over and over again. It was a huge headache for us for years. So us having done it, us having wrote the book on how to do it has now transitioned into us kind of making that scalable and getting it all in video form.
Yeah, I think that's huge because it is. I mean, you do want that consistency. You know, like I said, I'm just starting the pickup and delivery stuff. I haven't even, hardly done any promotion or anything like that. But even, the few customers that we've had so far, one of those things that they really love is that there's just consistency in the way things are folded, the way things are delivered to them, and just seeing that consistency. And you can't have that unless you train your employees how to fold clothes, how to pack them, what to pack them in, how to sort them, all of those, even the basic stuff on how to do laundry, you gotta train people on that. You can't assume that they just know how to do it, because it won't come out the way that you want it to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So how are you doing that? Do you mind if I ask? Ask about your pickup and delivery?
Yeah, man, let's talk about it. Cause I'm here learning from the master here. So I've
yeah, right. So how are you doing that? Do you have a driver, or are you doing the pickups?
I have a part-time driver, and I'm doing some of the pickups myself, too, as I'm kind of in the area, and I'm scheduling. When I know that I'm going to be out there, I'm just throwing myself in the schedule, and when I'm not, somebody else is running that stuff. So I have a couple of employees that are doing the laundry and doing the folding, washing and folding and all that stuff. But like I said, I've done already my fair share of laundry, where they're busy or I need them doing something else, and I'll just jump in and do it. So
nice. And you have a software, right? I saw you partnered up with Curbside. There's a lot of good software options out there.
Yeah, a lot of good.
What are the time windows you're doing? Is it 1 hour, 2 hour, 5 hour, anytime that day? There's a huge range out there of options that people are having success with.
Yeah, I have 3 hour windows. So it's 8 to 11, noon to 3, and 5 to 8 is what I'm doing. So, yeah.
And those cover one radius, or are they different time zones cover different parts of town?
They just cover one radius right now, and we have a relatively small radius. I mean, we're high density, obviously, out in LA, so we have a relatively small radius right now, and would love to expand that at some point. But as of now, there's not really a need to do that yet.
Very cool. Yeah, that's. I was talking to Ross Dodds, and I was getting perspective on how much traffic needs to be considered in LA. I thought that was insane. There's no way I could deal that. I couldn't even relate, and I think Austin has bad traffic. It's crazy.
Well, the only silver lining to this whole pandemic thing is that traffic has been much lighter in LA, especially early on. But even still, it's a lot lighter than it was. And but yeah, man, traffic is crazy. I'll know. I can just be going a couple miles away, but I always use like Google Maps or Waze or something, not because I don't know where I'm going, but because I need to know the traffic patterns, because it can be drastically longer going the most direct route, so it's definitely a factor to consider when you're doing pickup and delivery.
Right. So you've got 3 time slots over one radius. And they're not going to different geographical parts of town. I know some folks like to, I think it's an order. It's an effort to kind of save money, but some folks like to say on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I go north. On Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I go south. And that's never appealed to us because we always kind of think laundry is kind of impulsive, especially with most of our customers, in that you're ordering it as a moment of weakness because you don't want to do it right now. But if you have 24 to 48 hours to think about it, who knows how your mood's going to change or what's going to happen. That one school uniform that your kids needs, or the soccer uniform that soccer practices that night that they need, that changes. So I like that a lot. But I think people definitely have success doing the regional routes as well.
Yeah. I just, I try to think about, so I'm pretty much like the lowest common denominator here. I really hate laundry, and the last thing that I ever want to do is plan out when I'm doing my laundry. And so I just figured if I'm like that, then there's got to be a ton of people who don't want to plan out their laundry. So I might as well, build the way that I'm doing things for myself, for that person that's like me. And if somebody wants to plan out their laundry, they can totally do that too. They can choose when they want to order it on the software online. So
right. Yeah. There's definitely a balance. So right now we do 5-hour windows, and we do 2 per day. So there's a morning and an evening. But there's a balance because customers want that 1 hour on demand, and that is impossible. It's not pizza delivery. It's not Uber. But finding that balance is huge for the laundromat owners getting into this that we've talked to, is that you kind of set your own risk tolerance for what you want, and you're going to deal with the negative effects of that with the customer. If they don't order, they don't order because they don't like the width of your window or the days that it's available.
Yeah. And I hold all this very loosely. I'm pretty new into this. So I'm also at the same time, I'm like, well, if I need to change it because business has gotten so big and it's too overwhelming, or then I can change it. But, for now, I'm not at any kind of volume where I need to, be having different regions on different days or anything like that.
Right.
So I have the luxury of being able to, jet around town no matter where it is, right now. So.
Yeah, that's great. And change it when it gets uncomfortable. We, for the longest time, did 2-hour time windows that you could order up to, 10 minutes before. So 7:50 at night, you could place an order for 8 to 10. And then we also had a feature where you could adjust your delivery. So you say, I'm going to have it picked up Monday morning and I want to deliver back Wednesday. But now randomly on Tuesday, I can adjust my order to get delivered Tuesday. So those were terrible decisions. But the point that I'm trying to make is, when stuff gets uncomfortable, tear it out, rip it out, and set something more scalable in there. Because we certainly have a laundry list of features that we should have never even had to begin with, trying to cater to these unrealistic customer demands.
Yeah. And I think that's the advantage of the smaller, early, person like me who's getting into it, is that I can be more flexible. I can be more maneuverable. I'm not doing hundreds of loads a day. I just have a few loads a day. And so, whereas you can't be, you have a huge operation, you can't be as flexible as me. I might pick up a little business because I can be a little more flexible right now. And, when business grows and I can't be as flexible, well, I'll have a body of business behind me at that point to be able to, deal with whatever fallout that causes by changing stuff. So.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So that lends itself to a little bit smaller vehicles too, right? You're going on smaller routes. You can get away with maybe a transit instead of the big eco line. I can't remember the name of them.
Yeah.
Is that what you have?
Yeah. I'm running a smaller truck right now, and it's all good for right now. And you know what? When I got to get a bigger one, I'll be happy about it because that just means business is going. So.
Yeah, there's merit to the small ones too. A lot of folks, I think, run with the smaller windows. They can run more trucks, smaller trucks, lower hours on a shift for drivers, and it makes a lot of sense. That's certainly the grass is always greener thing for us, because right now we've kind of cornered ourselves with the 5-hour windows. We've kind of cornered ourselves into big vans, but now you're not fighting payroll hours. You're fighting, like, there is a limit to even how much you can fit in a big van. So now you're talking about, you have willing and able drivers, but you're running out of vehicle space mid-route. That's kind of tricky too. So those small vans have merit when you can add them quicker and have shorter shifts on payroll.
Yeah. And I think, your big radius also makes it, you kind of have to have a bigger van to have that bigger radius. Or I guess you could do it with more smaller vans, but, when you're going out that far, you got to make it worth your while to get out there and, get that stuff and then come back and then go back and then come back. So can I ask you, while we're kind of talking about that, how are you guys managing your routes? I know that's a big deal of, trying to optimize the routes and making sure, you don't have a driver who's going way north and then picking up something way south. And, how does that all work for you guys?
We have a software that helps us with most of that. We use StartUp. Nick was on here a couple of weeks ago. So we use his software.
Awesome. I'm going to link his podcast. If you haven't listened to it yet, you've got to go listen to Nick. Yeah, he was killer. That was a killer episode. So I'll put a link in the show notes or in the description if you're on YouTube.
Yeah. And the software is impressive stuff. It's, you're going to need a software backbone no matter what size you are. And there's certainly plenty of options out there for software. No matter who you choose, it's going to come down to what you do with it. All those softwares kind of come with as a blank canvas, and it's your job to get in there and customize it and make it fit your business. But they've been great. We work with them, it seems like, almost weekly on developments to push and things to change, just kind of like from an operator's point of view. But just the startup kind of community in general, there's plenty of other laundromat operators running just as much, if not more, and pushing just as many, if not more, updates through that we kind of look at and we're like, well, we never thought of that, but we're definitely going to use that now.
Yeah. That's a cool, benefit of being, using one of these software like a startup where everybody's kind of benefiting from everybody's input, into it, and everybody's helping improve it. And, it just makes things better for everybody when that's happening. So I love that. And I love what they're doing over there. I think they have an awesome, just a killer setup, and they're awesome people too, awesome to work with. So, check it out. Check out Startup if you haven't checked it out yet. Not to, promote them too much, but they're cool people. So go check them out.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. And it's as somebody who doesn't have much technical experience, any technical experience on the software side, it's really nice having a creative brain to pick where we can go up to them with a use case to anybody at their company and say, hey, this is the laundromat problem I'm dealing with. I don't know how that translates into a software problem. Can you either direct me to the solution or figure out a solution? And so it's them simultaneously learning the laundromat side of things as it is us learning the software side of things. And it seems to work really well. It's been great for us and helped us. I'm sure our customers are happy. All the improvements we've pushed have only helped our customers and their experience while kind of also softening it on the back end and making sure we can scale and successfully perform what the software is allowing the customers to choose.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so you're using Startup. What are you guys doing for marketing? Are you guys still, huffing it on Flick's apartment buildings, leaving flyers? What are you guys doing for marketing?
Well, that's kind of a tale of two cities here. So in Austin, we've been around longer, much higher volume of pickup and delivery, and the snowball is rolling downhill. It's with all the vans on the road, we've kind of reached customers already, 1, 2, 3, 4 marketing touches over time. That it's a little easier of a sell now. They have a friend of a friend who's used it, or they've seen a van in their neighborhood, or they've gotten a flyer at some point, a mailer at some point. They've seen a Facebook or Google ad at some point. And in Houston, we're probably about a year in, and we're realizing that snowball doesn't roll as fast downhill when you're starting up from scratch. So we're in Houston, we're kind of resorting back to the mailers, the Facebook ads, the Google ads, kind of that tier 1 type stuff that gets you off the ground. Whereas in Austin, we're kind of having a little more fun playing around with more of the brand marketing and less of the transactional marketing that we started with that we're using in Houston to get off the ground.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool spot to be in. And, I could see where one of the dangers of, starting up in a new location is kind of expecting things to be where they are in Austin, like real fast, but having to kind of go back to those basics and send out the mailers and do the, the online ads and stuff like that. So, but it's cool to be at a place, where you're able to kind of play around with some of the marketing, the brand building, that kind of thing, and just experiment a little bit. It's a fun place to be too.
Right. Yeah, we've always tried to interact with the customers a lot by email marketing, whether that's automated campaigns or our mass campaigns, and just trying to come up with seasonal things to stay in touch about. That most of our folks don't use us weekly, so there's a strong contingency that do. Most of the folks like to have us as kind of a get out of jail free card when they fall behind. And so staying in touch with them, kind of pushing them as a reminder that, hey, we're here when you need some help, kind of lightening the load a little bit. That's been helpful. But yeah, getting off the ground. I mean, you guys in other episodes have touched on everything. I don't think I have a ton to add there. I think having a good software, having an app that's on your phone is a key part of the marketing, and just kind of doing the hustle stuff that you need to get that first, second, third touch in with them, so that next time they think about laundry, that they're coming to you.
Yeah. Are you guys doing email marketing at all?
Yeah. That's one of our biggest retargeting tools is through email. That was actually talking about improvements with StarChef. That was something that they added through requests from us, is the ability to customize all your welcome email series, your follow-up after your first order series, your, hey, you haven't ordered in 3 months, what's the deal series. That can go as deep or as shallow as you want. Like I mentioned, these kind of softwares are a blank template, and we've spent a lot of time on the email functions of that, and also the website. Having a dense, deep website that kind of answers every question they may have and covers all the neighborhoods, all the radius, every question anybody might have. Anything you can think of is on our website somewhere. It might not be forward facing on the front end, but if you need to know how to get a stain out of something, we have an article somewhere on our website that talks about it. So those are two things that have been really fun to play with as kind of part of the brand marketing that we've, after we got past the transactional marketing of, oh my God, we need this many sales to break even. We've been able to play around with some of these, like, let's set ourselves up to really start rolling faster downhill. What are we going to do now that's going to really start paying dividends in 2 or 3 years instead of needing to, beat the books to close this month?
Yeah. A little bit of content marketing. That's what I like.
Right.
I like that. Yeah. Cool. So if you don't mind me asking, what are the costs of, are you doing per pound? Are you doing per bag? How are you guys structuring the pricing for your stuff?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a polarizing question in laundromat groups too.
Yeah.
I'll give you our answer. I don't think there's a wrong answer. I think you do whatever you want. It's a small difference. We do flat rate bags. So The customers get the bags with their first order. There's a smaller wash and fold bag. There's a larger wash and fold bag, and there's a dry cleaning bag. So with the wash and fold bags, they're flat rate priced. Them as full as you want. Doesn't change the price. And if you can use different combinations of them however needed. And we found it helpful because it kind of lowers that barrier to entry, and that nobody knows with their first order exactly how many pounds their clothes weigh. And they know they don't want to get rubbed for $150. So it's kind of set that floor for, they know, okay, like this will be a $30 experiment. I'll see if I like it, or I see if I don't like it. And it's kind of, I think it's given people the confidence to try us out faster than they might usually would if they didn't quite understand the per pound pricing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because, so I do per pound, and I think that's just what a lot of people in this area do. I don't know that I love it necessarily. I don't know that I'll always stay with it. I'm not sure. But I've never really, I'm sure people have talked about this a lot, but in the laundromat industry, I never really get why they do per pound for the washers, your 30-pound washers, your 60-pound, your 80-pound. I mean, I don't think I could pick something up and know how heavy it is. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Right.
I always thought there maybe should be something a little more intuitive, or even just like a line, like fill it to here, or I don't know. But the per pound thing has always baffled me a little bit.
That's interesting. Yeah. So I think we're on the pickup and delivery side, we're running into a similar, like a kind of a, why does everyone do it that way question, where I think there's a big difference in the customers we see, right? Some folks just want their clothes washed and their clothes folded and sent back to them. They don't care if the whites are separated. They don't care if the stains are stain treated. They don't care if what detergent's used or if there's softeners added. And for us, if, that drawer ready packaging, if it's packed to perfection or if it's just all thrown in one big bag, if the shirts are steamed or if they're just folded, your Oxfords or your collared shirts, if they're steamed and hung on a hanger or if they're folded up. And then there's the other side that really care about that. So I think we're running into a fork in the road where we're going to try to figure out some tiered pricing system where we can cater to both. Look, we're doing so much laundry. If you want the traditional over-the-counter wash and fold treatment, your conventional laundromat, whether it's right or wrong, the stereotypical laundromat wash and fold quality, we can give you that. Or if you want, we can give you this private facility, professional, a hybrid dry cleaning product, really specialized. So that's kind of a fork in the road we're coming up on too. But I think there's tons of stuff that really has never been rethought about, like you mentioned, stuff that everyone's just been doing forever and calling it the same thing forever. And we're starting to take a look at it. I think there's a lot of real smart people getting into laundromats and or pickup and delivery that are starting to question a lot of these old, outdated terminologies and methods and everything like that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of outdated terminology and methods that are coming into question kind of across the board in the industry. And I think it's just going to be interesting to see, how all of it evolves. And even though pickup and delivery has been going on for a while, but it's still relatively new. And so I think that it's a good time to be questioning all of these things, even if you end up in the same spot where we're at. Like, it's a good time to be questioning, why are we pricing it that way? Why are we doing it that way? Because, I think we're still pretty early on in the pickup and delivery model, and it's still evolving, in a lot of different ways. So, yeah. Did I miss it? So is it $30 a bag? Is that what you're charging?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So we have a $30 standard bag and we have a $40 extra large bag. Those are the base price for the bags. Then you can add on up charges for hanging t-shirts, bleach, softener, stuff like that. Yeah, hanging jeans. There's a whole list of up charges. So those add on top of the base price for the bag.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm just curious about that. Cool, man. I mean, do we need to know anything else about pickup and delivery? Or about what you're doing? Am I missing any questions I need to be asking you?
No. I mean, I don't have any answers. So, I just like talking about this stuff. I think, we kind of covered the pricing. We covered the logistics. I'm sure as you think of questions, let me know. Happy to help. So I might be coming to you for a therapy session or help from you too.
Yeah. Once you get to that, that customer facing self-service side, it's two different businesses using the same assets. It's really different. And I think that's one of the things I'm learning, kind of going the opposite way that you're going, is that pickup and delivery is an awesome business, but it's a different business than the self-service laundry. And you're utilizing the same assets. And that's what I really love about it, is it's at least doing it the way that I'm doing it, it's a relatively inexpensive new business to start once you already own the assets. So, the rent and the washing machines and the dryers. But it really is a different business for sure. Yep. So you'll have a good time. I feel like I think you started and you've mastered the more complicated of the two. However, I will say that there is a dynamic that is introduced when you start seeing customers in your store and having to deal with them and seeing the shenanigans that go on in the laundry.
Right. Right. Just last month in Houston, we had to replace the whole set of just lobby chairs because about 2 minutes before the automated doors open in the morning, someone broke in, stole a chair, and walked out. And if they would have just waited 2 more minutes, they could have just walked in and stolen the chair and walked out. So we're starting to learn, but yeah, excited to get to do that in Austin as well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's the stories. I don't know. It's never boring. I'll just say that. So, but it'll be a lot of fun. Well, let me ask you this: what do you have planned for the future? Have you thought? I mean, are you still in build mode? You know, we're trying to improve our business and grow our business. Or do you guys have aspirations or plans for where you're heading? Either you guys as a group or you personally?
Yeah, I think as a group, I mean, it's hard to take the blinders off right now. It's all hands on deck on getting this one built. And every day that we wait to get it built, we're kind of outgrowing it. So getting that one done and getting everything moved in and finally kind of having a home in Austin is really our first priority. But after that, I mean, God, I've been watching Ross in LA and Luke in North Carolina, and these guys just opening laundromats every day, it seems like. So I think after that, sky's the limit. I think we're going to pursue a heavy growth plan in our 2 cities and kind of enjoy the fruits of that retail coin-op laundry side while kind of already we're going to be opening a laundromat with more pickup and delivery volume than most people get in a whole year, right? In month 1. So I think if we can kind of leverage that to keep opening up new laundromats, sky's the limit. And I think our team would agree there that's the goal. That's what we want to do. We're in this for the long haul, and it'll definitely be a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Oh man. All right, Luke, if you're listening, man, you better watch it. They're coming up behind you here. I'm sure you're at like 42 now. I don't know. You gotta have a phone,
Luke, if you're listening, give me a call and help us out. This is not a contest. I need your help.
No, come on, man. I'm trying to establish some rivalry. Somebody's got to challenge.
Yeah, right. I'm not touching him. I'm not challenging that at all.
Well, it's funny, and it's one of the cool things about this industry is like your business models are so different, right? Like you guys, I mean, you started with no laundromats doing pickup and delivery, and I don't think he's doing pickup and delivery at all. I could be wrong about that, but if I remember right, I don't think he's doing pickup and delivery at all. So, I mean, there's just a lot of different ways to run, this business and to operate. And it's really cool to see that and to see people succeeding in all these different ways and being able to even, help each other. I'm sure Luke would. I mean, he's a great guy. He would talk to you and help you out if you had questions. I mean, the same with Ross. He just opened one this last week, and he's got another one in escrow. At least he's growing too, man. It's a race to the top right now. Not kidding.
Right? Yeah. No, I think it does snowball after you start cash flowing your first couple, right? The lending options are very owner friendly. We're just kind of getting over that threshold now, and then it'll be fun to get in the arms race with all those guys.
Yeah. And you guys have you have a big advantage because you have a strong business behind you already. You're getting into it kind of, but you're already 2 feet in it. So you guys are going to grow exponentially faster. I need to bring you to the meetings with the banks so you can be a great hype man. You know what? I will hype you up. I'm the best hype man. I will hype you up. No problem. I'll talk to any banker any day of the week. So, well, cool. I mean, I love that perspective. I love those goals that you guys have, and just that you are focused on getting the next thing done and then seeing where you're going from there. But having aspirations to keep moving forward and keep expanding, and I like that. it's one thing. Some people, they just want to have one or two or three and, just be done there. And that's totally fine too. But I like that you guys are pushing to grow. You're expanding, not only just your self-service side, but you're expanding your radius, your pickup and delivery, and there's just a lot of growth there. And I like that. So kudos to you. We have a little section of the podcast we like to call the secret sauce.
Listen up, it's the secret sauce.
And the secret sauce is this. What's one thing that's working well in your business right now that you think other owners can implement in their businesses to really help them, succeed, help them propel their business to the next step, or just, improve their business a little bit?
Let's see. That's a good question. I would say get some good partners. I was fortunate to have, like I mentioned earlier, a bunch of different partners with a bunch of different backgrounds, all able to kind of take the load when needed. So that doesn't have to be, partners in ownership of the business, but like it is in my case. But even, we mentioned Nick at Startup. There's a local laundromat owner, Roy, here in town, who helps us a ton. Get a good team of people that all know what they're talking about and know what they're doing and have very different skill sets and use them to help leverage your skill sets.
Yeah, I think that's killer advice. I see a lot of people who, find other people that are just like them, have similar experiences, think the same way. And that's good because it's a lot more fun doing business with somebody, like you, until you realize you have these big gaping holes in your business because neither one of you is very good at it. Neither one of you likes to do whatever it is. And, but finding good partners with different skill sets, coming at it from different angles. I like having, another laundromat owner. I like having a software developer who's working with other laundromat owners who has an awesome perspective, and having good business partners who have different skill sets from their early on careers. And, I think that is really a key to success because nobody's good at everything, right? So solid secret sauce. I love that. We have another little segment that we call Pro Tips.
Pro Tips.
And Pro Tips is more geared towards, the newbie, someone who's looking to get into the business. And you can talk either, self-service coin laundry or pickup and delivery, or you could just give me solid advice right now as a newbie getting into the pickup and delivery. But, what's a piece of advice you'd give to somebody who's looking to get, either their first laundromat or looking to get into pickup and delivery?
That's a good question. I would say talk to as many people as you can. It's certainly something we did. There's plenty of folks that are tired of getting phone calls from me. Talk to other owners, other operators, anybody involved in the software side, the marketing side, anything like that. Talk to as many people as you can. You'll find the answer eventually. A little bit vague on the answer there, but as a kind of a vague question, I guess talk to as many folks as possible would be my answer.
Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't call that vague. It's similar actually to your secret sauce is, find people who know more than you, who know different things than you know, and learn from them. I always say one of the big reasons that I started the podcast and started the website, one of the reasons I do the coaching, all this stuff, a big driving force behind all of that is that I had to learn some very difficult lessons early on in this business because I didn't do that. And whether it's because, you just didn't know to do that or whatever the reasons, like I didn't do that and I had to learn some really hard lessons. And I just feel like nobody else should have to learn those lessons the way that I learned them. And your, pro tip is exactly that. Don't learn hard lessons the hard way. Learn hard lessons the easy way from other people who learn them the hard way.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And there are some trailblazers out there that I'm just watching in awe from the sidelines up, that get out there and ask everybody questions. I think coin op and the pickup and delivery is changing. And I think it's really cool to watch these, everybody kind of make their moves and really kind of just normalize pickup and delivery laundry. I think there's no reason that in the future, my mom kind of doesn't understand exactly like who would use that, why would you use it and everything. But like, I think in a couple of years, like that type of customer, it's going to be very normalized. And so I think everyone's kind of hanging on tight and getting ready for it. But yeah, there's certainly some trailblazers. I've mentioned a few of them here, and a lot of them have been on your podcast. Reach out, talk to as many people as you can.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago that people were saying, why would you get into a car with a stranger and let them drive you around? And we were hearing stories about, kidnappings or murders or whatever. And yet here we are, and Uber is pretty much the normal. Lyft is pretty much the normal, and nobody's talking about any of that anymore because it just takes some time for adjustment. But it doesn't take that long anymore. Everything changes so fast. Now is a great time to be getting in on, the direction that this industry is going, this pickup and delivery stuff. You haven't yet. So solid advice. Do you have any resources that you would recommend to other owners, either to help them grow their business or to grow their business knowledge or financial knowledge or personally, anything like that? Any resources that you would recommend, books or whatever?
Let's see. I would recommend a good advisor first. Having someone to talk to and really hash things through. If I was going to send you somewhere to read, you could find a list of podcasts and books of those online. I don't think one that I give is going to change anybody's world, but go find people in the space that are doing what you want to do and just scour their website. I mean, there are companies that I know their websites back and forward because I've just read that as an informational textbook, trying to learn what they do and guess why they do that and what that could possibly mean for why they're making this decision. So find some models for what you want your business to look like and go learn everything you can about that would be my recommendation, whether that's on the coin off side, the pickup and delivery side, or any other, business or venture you're getting into.
Yeah. Well, I'm sensing a theme. For one, secret sauce, pro tip, recommended resources, all the find good people to talk to. But here's where it all leads perfectly, actually, is how can people contact you and get a hold of you if they have questions for you? You can't just send people out to all these other people and not be willing to let these people come ask the master some questions on pickup and delivery and on growing a solid business. How can people connect with you?
Yeah, well, I'm happy to help. I can definitely point them in touch to some real masters, but I'm happy to help where I can. Follow The Fold on social media. We're at The Fold on all platforms. If you want to reach out there, it'll run across me at some point.
Right?
Yeah, TheFolde, and contact forms on our site. We'll link my personal contact info in the bio here. But yeah, reach out, and I can certainly point you in the direction and help you as much as I can. There's plenty of resources out there.
Awesome. Don't let them fool you, and don't let them push you off to someone else. You've got tons of wisdom, so make sure you pin them down and grill him with questions, just like he's advising you to do. Take his advice and just blow up his inbox over there with questions.
Yeah, and in a normal world, I think the best way to learn would be to come do it. I think, once we get past everything that's going on here, you can imagine what that much laundry looks like running through between, 8 p.m. and 4 a.m., but you really never know until you're in the middle of the hurricane there. And it's insane. So, maybe once everything clears up, some of those phone calls with questions turn into real in-person visits with questions.
I'm sensing that you're looking for some free labor to fold fitted sheets. That's what I'm hearing right now.
I am, yeah. If any laundromat owners out there have advice on how to secure a laundromat, call me. I will trade you any pickup and delivery advice for financing help.
Yeah, we'll talk more. I got some stuff to chat with you about on that, so we'll get you set up.
Cool, very cool,
dude. Mark, thank you so much for coming on. A ton of just value that you brought today, a ton of awesome wisdom that you didn't have to share with us. I really, really appreciate you coming on and sharing your journey. And, it's a pretty unique one, how you guys started. to where you're actually trying to go and almost kind of doing it backwards. But I love to hear the way that you did it, the way that you guys made it work, and where you're planning to head from here. It's just super cool to hear all that and a ton of great wisdom that I think that I know I'm benefiting from. I'm sure a ton of people are going to benefit from. And I'm sure that those people are going to contact you and ask you all kinds of questions. I'm looking forward to hearing what questions they ask you. So thank you again for coming on, man. Really, really appreciate it.
All right. How cool is Mark? He's just a super cool guy, but he also is just so knowledgeable, and he was so eager to share all the things that he learned. I loved it. I love that he started with pickup and delivery, and they just kind of figured it out together. And now they're working their way back towards buying actual laundromats. So pretty cool story. A lot of cool wisdom that he gained from having this unique perspective of doing it all backwards. So I want to encourage you, like always, to pick one thing, at least one thing from this episode that you're going to implement into your business or into your life to help you grow or to help your business grow. So make sure you're doing that. Pick one thing this week and get out there and implement it into what you're doing, either personally or in your business. And again, head over to laundromatresource.com/join. Come be a part of what we're doing. It's growing like crazy right now. I've been super excited. I'm getting a ton of great feedback of ways to make it even more valuable for you. If you have more input on that, reach out to us. We want to know how to make this more and more valuable for you guys as laundromat owners and those of you looking to buy your first laundromat. So get over there and join us, and look forward to all the crazy things that are going to be coming out this month, September 2020. It should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it. All right. We will see you next week for show 21, where I'm not really sure. I got my gloves off. I've got my shoes off, and 21, I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I'm going to figure it out between now and then, and I will see you then. Peace.